live. Hello, everyone. This is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Do Rebel, and welcome to episode number 96 of the Jeet Kune Do Dialogues. We will be joined shortly by Aubrey Lee Grow out of Ohio. So let's see who's on here. Andrew Weaver, Sifu Randy. Hello, Bill Hayes, Amir Agababa. All right. Okay, so once again, I neglected to do a technology test with Mr. Grow, but I think we'll be okay. We've been having really good luck. Hey, Daryl White. Mrs. Hartzell, good to see you. Terry Valor is here. All right. Okay, so let's just give Mr. Grow. Hey, Kenny Malden. Hey, Kenny, I haven't seen you around in a long time, man. What's happening? So we'll give Mr. Grow a few minutes to get here. Ronaldo Santiago, that's a new Facebook friend of mine. Roger Lurie, welcome. All right, so let's see. So this is episode 96. Hey Rory, I might have, yeah, if you guys, thanks for doing that, Daryl. If you guys would be kind enough to say where you're logging in from, and then, that way, because Facebook reads everything, right? So then Facebook will know that we are we're a dynamic show, and they'll assign some algorithmic relevance to what we're doing. So Paula Osborne's here. Oh, okay, I got it. Lee Peacock, Josh Horn. All right, okay. Once again, we got great people. All right, I think that's Mr. That wasn't him. Okay, well. Invitation sent, so we'll just give him a few minutes to get here. So okay. I have to ask you this. When I was looking at the photographs that I could find of you, you seem to hang out with people who are, let's say, not of your generation. You talking about younger or older? A lot younger. Yeah. Is that by design? Is that by intentional design?
Well, I have students, that I'm with. Yeah. Maybe that's who you're seeing there. Yeah. But
no, the reason.
Yeah, I go both ways.
The reason why I ask you that is because I know that that's something that Sifu Inosanto highly recommends. That as we get up there, that we don't spend time just in our own age group. Right, that we spend time with the younger folks. So
I do both.
Yeah,
I do both.
Yes, because you have also you play guitar in a gospel trio, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
you've done your homework.
Yeah,
I do. We play at the nursing homes. We enjoy that.
Yeah,
entertaining the folks at nursing homes.
That looks like that.
Been doing that about 5 years.
Okay,
now.
That looks like a lot of fun. Where did you learn to play guitar?
I just picked it up along the way. I have friends in the Marine Corps who taught me, who showed me how to play. And I had an uncle who played and was locally pretty famous at one time.
Okay.
My Uncle Bruce.
Yeah.
So I picked it up along the way.
Okay. So you notice, if you saw the postcard for this episode, I put that picture of you at the Sun Dojo, like up front and center.
The Sky Dojo.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. We call it the Sky Dojo because that was on Okinawa.
Right.
And that was a rooftop, and our teacher lived down below there, and we trained up there on that rooftop.
Okay.
And we call it the Sky Dojo, and I trained there 1970, 71. 78, 79, a little bit 82, 83, a little bit 1969 too.
Where were you between 71 and 78?
All over the place. I was in the Marines for 20 years.
Right.
And I moved around. I went to Quantico, Virginia. I went to recruiting duty. I was a recruiter for 3 years. Okay. And up in northern Ohio. And so I moved around. And I had a school at one time, a karate school at one time in Lima, Ohio.
Okay.
And I had that for a couple of years. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, do you, so, okay, wait, I don't want to rush ahead because I got a bunch of questions for
Okay.
you.
I'll take the time. All right.
So, at the Sky Dojo, were you
Hmm.
training under Tatsuo Shimabuku or under Kishiro Shimabuku?
Neither one. I was training under Eizo Shimabuku. That was Tatsuo's younger brother.
But isn't he the Shorin-ryu guy? So,
Yes, short and
so
root.
you're not
Hmm.
Ishin-ryu, you're Shorin-ryu?
That's correct. I was short and root.
Oh, oh. I had a bunch of questions about Ishin-ryu to ask you. I'm kidding.
Well, I know a little bit about
Yeah.
that. But my teacher's older brother,
Yes.
Tatsuo Shimabuku, was the founder of Ishinryu.
Right. Yes.
I met Tatsuo a couple times when I was on Okinawa.
Okay. Okay.
But my teacher was Eizo
Right.
Shimabuku, and he was
And
short
he
and root.
stayed in Shorin.
Yes, he
Right.
did. Yes, he did.
I get it.
He was the grand master of his own system that was Shobayashi-ryu,
Oh,
which
yes.
is a style of short and root.
Okay. Okay. I get it. Now, when
Okay.
you moved, so okay, here's the other thing I wanted to ask you because you,
Okay.
Sifu Inosanto and Sifu Hartzell have military service in common. And by the way, thank you for your service.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you.
But you guys didn't meet each other during that time, did you?
By you guys, who do you mean?
You, Sifu Inosanto and Sifu Hartzell, you didn't meet when you were in the service.
Toward the end of my 20 years in the Marine Corps, I met, well, both of them.
Really?
Both of them. In fact, I think I was at a seminar you were at in 1985 in St. Louis. Were you there?
Yes.
At the California Martial Arts Academy?
Yep.
I was there.
Okay.
I was there.
Oh, so
And that's when I first trained under Dan Inosanto. Yeah.
I see. I see. Okay. Oh, so you and I go back way back, man.
Well, yeah, I first began, my first JKD was with Ted Lukai, Guru Ted Lukai, and that was 1984.
Okay.
And then I went on from there and trained with different JKD colleagues.
Right. So so you were with Guru Ted in California. Is that when were you in college at that time? Is that the
No, I was in the Marine Corps then.
Okay, so when were what
1984.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So when were you at Miracosta College?
Well, you really done your homework. That was 19. Let me see. That's after I retired from the Marine Corps.
Okay.
So that was the mid 1980s. I was there.
Right. Okay. So that's what I was wondering, if that's when you got involved with Guru Ted.
Before that.
Okay.
Guru Ted was before that.
All right.
Just before
Mhm.
that. I retired in 1986. I got involved with Guru Ted in 1984.
Okay.
And I was with him, about a year, I guess it was,
All right.
in Huntington Beach, California.
Yeah. So you really
I used to drive up there. I was at Camp Pendleton. I used to drive up there several nights a week.
Yeah.
And back, I'll tell you a little bit about that,
Mhm.
if you don't mind. Trained with Guru Ted. He come out of Guru Dan's backyard,
Yes.
and began when Bruce Lee was still living. So it was kind of contact oriented.
Yes.
And that was pretty rough transition for me. It was a different approach to the martial arts. The boxing was there, and there's contact, and of course karate, professional karate, became that way over time.
Mhm.
But I used to drive up there from Camp Pendleton. I said, "What in the world am I doing this for?"
Yeah. How long of a
Get
drive
my
is how long of a
food.
drive is that?
Well, you had all that traffic, so I don't know, 45 minutes, maybe an hour sometimes, because it was a quitting time.
Right.
Quitting time traffic.
It's probably 2
So
hours
that was a
now.
great, might be.
Yeah, with today's
might be.
traffic, right?
Mhm. Yeah. That was a great experience training with Guru. They're wonderful person.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Great teacher.
Yes.
Great
Yes,
teacher.
for sure.
Mhm.
So then when you went out to St. Louis, were you back in Ohio? Where were you living then when you went out to St. Louis?
California. I was living in Oceanside, California, owned a house there. And, the California Martial Arts Academy was in California, as you know,
Right.
and went out
Yeah.
there. And I was curious, I had trained in karate for many years. Karate, I love karate. I'm still involved in that, in short and
Mm-hmm.
And I was curious, what's all the fuss about? Bruce Lee and Kali, what is all this, And I wanted to train with the girl Dan, so I traveled there, and it was 5 days, as you know, for 8 hours a day, pretty intense training.
Yeah.
So that's where I first met him and trained with him.
Okay. What sparked your interest? Because as you said,
Curiosity.
yeah.
And I wanted to explore,
Right.
and grow.
Right.
I've been in karate for many years. I trained under Eizo Shimabuku, also Siki Arakaki later on,
Okay.
on Okinawa. And I wanted to say, what else is there? Let me see what's there, And I was just, wow, I like this,
Mm-hmm.
And so explore deeper into
Yeah. Now, the two Shimabuku brothers, so Eizo kept pretty much to the Shorin-ryu initially. Tatsuo went on and he started to blend a whole lot of stuff together and call that Ishin-ryu, correct?
Well, I wouldn't say it was a whole lot of stuff.
Okay.
He kind of blended, and so did my teacher. So did
Right.
Eizo
That's what I'm
Shimabuku.
trying to determine. If because I know that one of them became the founder of Ishin-ryu and the other one stayed in Shorin.
Yes.
But I wondered if there was any exchange or anything.
Well, I know because my teacher told me this. Eizo trained with his brother. He was helped by his brother in learning, but he also trained under the same teachers that Tatsuo did.
Okay.
And others. And there Goju-ryu
Right.
and Shorin-ryu are kind of mixed there.
Right.
And both of them kind of mixed that
Yeah.
into their systems.
Did you train with any of those other people like Miyagi or Kian or Motobu, any of those guys?
No, they were all passed away before
Okay.
I came. They passed away back in the 1940s,
Okay.
mid-1940s.
Okay.
I'm not that old.
even if you were, you still get around because here's the thing. So you have to break down for me your association with Reed Academy, with Lebanon Martial Arts, and with the Mantka Filipino martial art group.
Okay, all right. I'm not associated with the Mako. That is Balintawak, Quintata Balintawak. And the teacher, one of my teachers was Michael Malian.
Okay.
Under Grandmaster Bobby Tawada.
Okay.
That's Balintawak. And I'm a level 4 practitioner in that art.
Okay.
Which I explored into that too. Reed Academy, I trained with Charles Reed, Seafood Charles Reed, probably 12 years, something like that.
Wow.
And of course, he's a full instructor under Guru Inosanto.
Right.
And also instructed under Seafood Reed. At his school, I taught JUN Fan Wing Chun there for him. A great teacher, by the way. Great teacher. Yeah. And him, Sean and John Meyer, great mentors in the art. And that's Reed Academy. What else did you ask about?
Lebanon Martial Arts, because I think you and Sean do seminars there on a fairly frequent basis.
We've done 2 seminars there.
Okay.
I'm an instructor there. And by the way, that's a Shorin-ryu karate school. And under the Nagamini system. Okay. And they wanted to, like I did years ago, they wanted to explore beyond that. What else is there? And so I went in there initially teaching Balintawak and Eskrima, and then they wanted to explore JUN Fan and also explore Inosanto Kali.
Mm-hmm.
So that just took off there, and I'm teaching 2 nights a week there. And by the way, they want me to take over their karate program. So I'll be doing that too,
Yeah.
under Sensei Bill
Okay.
Hayes, who was also a student of Eizo Shimabuku, and another great
But I
teacher.
thought you were supposed to be retired, man.
Well, I'll retire when I die.
Well,
Look, Girl Dan taught us,
I know.
you grow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that has been such a gift to me, and I'm sure to you also, and to other people who've been associated with him, is that example of continued growth.
Yes.
Always have a childlike curiosity,
Yes.
and that has really helped me in life.
Yeah. Let's dial back a little bit. Why and when the military? Why the military and when? Because you were in your 20s when that picture at the Sky Dojo was taken, correct? Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I
was. What age?
Looked different back then.
What age did you enter the military?
I went in, I graduated from high school. I went to a Baptist boarding school in West Virginia, way out in the hills there. And I graduated from there in 1966 and went in the Marine Corps. My brother had gone in, my best friend had gone in, another friend. I said, oh, that's for me. So I went to the Marine Corps and got in there, and, I liked it. I went to Vietnam in 67, 68. I was there in 69, part of 69. And it was a good, Marine Corps was good to me. It's a good career for me. But the why was, you're a young guy, you want adventure,
right,
and you want to travel, and you want to do what your friends and your relatives did. So that's what started me doing it.
Do you think it's still that way for like an 18-year-old guy today? Do you think the military still holds that kind of allure?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Very much so. I think there was a time period back when I was a recruiter. I was a recruiter in the early 1970s toward the end of the Vietnam War and right after it ended. And the armed services were not popular at all.
Yeah.
It was hard times.
Yeah.
It was hard times. But, we got through that. And now people come to me all the time, thank you for your service. And I didn't hear that for a long time. But yeah, I do believe the allure is there.
Okay.
And it can be a hard life at times, but it's a good life.
Yeah.
It's a good life. Been good to me. Still paying me.
And you studied management at Antioch.
Yes, the Antioch University. They called it McGregor at the time. That's Antioch University Midwest.
Okay.
Yes, and it was the adult college.
Okay.
And I went there, graduated when I was 55 years old with my bachelor's degree. And a friend of mine had told me, you ought to go back to school. So I can't do it. I'm too old. Well, I gave it a try. So I went back, got my degree.
Not, with a view towards using it somewhere, or just?
Well, I did. I went to work for the county here where I live.
Okay.
Worked for them 21 years, and most of it as a manager.
Right.
And because of the degree I had the superintendent that I worked for was watching me when I was going to college. He would say to me, Lee, what are you doing? He's studying. What are you doing? And after I graduated, he reached out to me, so let's put you over in this management position, and I stayed there.
Yeah.
21 years. So I got to retire again.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, do you have any of this chronicled anywhere? Like, do you have like a journal?
Well, I got it in here. Let me tell you something, Dwight. My wife, my wonderful wife. When you're gonna write a book? When you're gonna write a book? She's on me about it. And she said, talking to Dwight, catalyst that you need to get you going writing this book.
Well,
so
she's not wrong. she's not wrong, because I'll tell you what it will do. Because like you might
Mhm.
realize that I'm trying to put your life in chronological order with
Okay.
right
Where we leave
with
off.
my questions, right? But it's not working.
Okay.
Right? So you
Okay.
so you got to put it down. You got to put it in print so that we can all take a look at it.
Well, I'm going to work on
Yeah.
that. I'm going to work on
Okay.
it. And, you know, as you've heard, I've had some amazing instructors, and they all mean a great deal to me. And I want to focus on them if I do
Yeah.
that, and their relationship with me, and what I saw and learned
Yeah. Now it's interesting that you refer to the Meyer brothers and to
from them.
Sifu Reed as
Mhm.
mentors, because I know when I
Yes.
get them on the dialogues and I ask them about
Mhm.
you, they're going to return the favor. They're going to go, he's a great mentor as well.
They might. They might. I tell them they're my seniors because they're full instructors,
Right.
you know. And it's no, you know, or you're not. You're the senior guy. Yeah, I guess because I'm old. Hey, let me talk about some of the other, if you don't
No,
mind.
go ahead.
Larry Hartz.
Yes.
Oh, I just love that
Yeah.
guy. I loved him. Larry and I met him at the old Inosanto Academy in 1986. He was on Glencoe back in the alley there,
Yep.
kind of a warehouse place.
Yep.
And met him and started training with him, and we became friends. And we were very good friends. And then I moved to Ohio. I wondered why every January I asked myself what I did. Anyway, moved to Ohio, and then reconnected with Larry, and just, you know, he was a great teacher to me, but also a very dear friend. Miss him, very dear friend. We went beyond the student teacher, but it was there. But he was a good friend. And let me tell you something. He's known for his grappling. That guy was the most incredible trapper I've ever met. His hand trapping was just extraordinary, just extraordinary. So I wanted to mention him. I miss him.
Yeah. Well, I joke with people all the time that he would stay away from me because I was so skinny. He was afraid of breaking me in two or something.
Well, I was small, you know. He would move toward me, then he would stop and move toward get one of the big guys to work with me. Ready to break me or something.
Yeah.
Yes. He was just so strong.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I remember, I think it was Lansing, Michigan, 1985, September or October 1985. And I'm in the hotel room with Sifu Inosanto and Sifu Hartzell. And he, in his luggage, he brought a set of weights.
Really? That would be him.
Yeah, you know, because in those days there was no gym at the hotel, so you brought your weight set with you.
Wow. That's that would be him. That would be him.
Yeah.
I also spent some time with Richard Bustillo. Richard and I trained at the IMB for a time there. Okay. And I miss him. A lot of those guys are gone.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's
the first generation.
Yeah, it's a shame, you know, but that's why, you know, people have said to me that they think that what I'm doing is really important because some of that stuff has not been chronicled, but now we are, you know, we will have this for forever. And then when we get you to write your book, even better.
You've been talking to my wife.
I do my homework.
Yes, I hear that. I see it.
I wanted to get your take though, because I mean, you hang out with the kids, so I think you're probably on Facebook, so you must be aware of social media and what have you. I wanted to get your take on this modern day idea that if you're not somehow associated with martial arts competition, if you're not in MMA competition somehow, then you don't really rank because you have no fight record.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, he put me on the spot
Yeah.
here, but I don't mind.
Yeah. Because does Eizo
Yeah.
Shimabuku have a fight record in the ring?
No.
So then I guess he's not an influential martial artist, huh?
That's nonsense.
Exactly.
Yeah, MMA has its place. Okay. And I'm not knocking it. Personally, I don't care for it. I don't watch it. I don't like to watch one guy over top of another guy on his back beating him with his fist. I just don't enjoy that at all. But this is for some people, but not for me.
Right.
But, martial art is way more than that. I'm 73 years old. Why am I still doing this? I can't go get in the cage,
Right.
It has to be beyond that. It's about personal growth. It's about it's socialization. That's part of it. And the enemy you're fighting, you hear this, but I think it's so true. It's in here. It's in here. You're struggling with this guy in here. And that you can go get in the cage, and what's the life expectancy there? 3, 4, 5 years, you can't do that anymore. Your body won't let you do it anymore. So that's fine for you, but this is a lifetime journey. And Guru Dan taught us that. It's a journey, a process, like Steve Bruce said, and not a product.
Right.
So it's not for me. I don't think it's for most people, but there are people that it's for, and that's okay. It's okay. But martial arts are different things to different people. Yeah. Some self-defense, which is also short-lived. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, but you said something really interesting. You said that martial art is, amongst other things, about socialization, for example.
Yes,
and as you were saying that, I was thinking, I wonder if the military does the same thing. But then when you talked about the enemy, and you said that in martial art, the enemy is in here, then I thought, maybe is that the point at which martial arts and military service go in different directions, or are they still somewhat similar?
They're different directions. I don't think so. I think that, I'm a combat veteran. I didn't have to go out looking for the bad guys, but they come and visit us sometimes. And there's a struggle in here too. There you have to overcome fear and insecurity and still function.
Right.
And so I don't think it goes that far the other way, because you have that similarity there. And you have the bad guy on the street who wants you to hurt you, and then you got to deal with that. You have the bad guy in a combat situation who wants you to hurt you, and that's both external and internal.
Okay.
So, but for the long haul, for the long journey, it's in here.
Right.
It's in
here.
There.
You mentioned being still involved with the Shorin-ryu. So what of the classical, it's kind of funny that Shorin-ryu would be considered a classical or a traditional style, but it's a blend of stuff already, isn't it?
Well, my teacher's it was a blend of Nahate, which is Goju-ryu.
Right.
We had 2 katas in Goju-ryu, and then Tamarite, Shurite, which is the other 2 Okinawan towns that had karate systems, so to speak.
Yeah.
So there is a blend there.
Yes.
There is a blend. And, the katas, there's a superficial learning of those, the forms. You can explore those through your life.
Yeah.
I have a friend and also another mentor, Bill Hayes, who trained with Dojo Shimabuku, and he does that very well. He has gone with the guidance of Shimabuku Sensei. He's gone way beyond the superficial applications. So there is a journey there,
Yeah.
along the journey.
So there is something, because, so Bruce Lee famously said, kata is useless, right? Now,
Really?
right? Now,
Was he just trying to make a
well,
point?
see, so here's the thing, right? I think that it would be better reported that Bruce Lee said, for me personally, kata is useless. You see what I'm saying?
You lost you for a
Yeah.
second. For him, you mean?
Yeah, I think it would be better reported if we emphasize that he was saying that for him personally, he didn't find kata useful, rather than because everybody goes, oh well, now he's insulting all the traditional martial artists and what have you. But I don't think a person like you would necessarily agree with that kata is useless. I mean, there are millions of people practicing kata every day. How can that be useless?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not useless.
Right.
And I think he reached a point in his journey, I believe, where he was moving beyond that. Okay, what I mean by that? Yeah, he was Girl Inosanto, and I'm sure you heard him say this. He said Bruce Lee was one of the best forms man that he ever saw.
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes.
So, he did that. He did praying mantis forms.
Mm-hmm.
He did some Tai Chi, and he was exploring classical Kung Fu systems. Of course, I think Silam Tao, maybe some Chum Q from Wing Chun, he was into that. And the wooden dummy, of course, that's a form.
Right.
But those forms are kind of, to me, they're reference manuals. And when I teach the karate people, I'm talking to them where I teach 11 martial arts. I talk to them about that. And what Bruce Lee said, and I believe is right, you have to look outside the pattern
Right.
of the form. The pattern is a guidebook. It's a reference book. Okay?
Right.
You're going to read the same story all the time in the same order. You're missing it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
See what is
Yeah.
there. And back, I was over there at Lebanon Martial Arts the other night, and they had some senior students there, and they asked me to talk to them. And what I told them to do is start training your kata backwards.
Yeah.
And it drove them crazy. I went back the next night and said, oh man, yeah. And the point was to do it backwards. The point is to step out of the pattern.
Yes.
Step out of the pattern. So yeah, there's a lot of value there.
Yeah.
I really believe that.
I came up with that idea on my own during the time that I spent in Shotokan, and I got in trouble because I said, well, why don't we instead of doing Gedan Barai going to the left, why don't we practice it going to the right? And I got in trouble for that.
There you go.
Yeah, no, but
well, not in my school you won't. Well, I gave you an example of that, Dwight. You step forward and do a down block in the Senkusu Dachi front stance. You step forward. And I asked this guy, in fact, he was a black belt there. I said, "You gonna block a kick like that?" What do you mean? I said, well, here, I took a stick and brought it up like a kick,
Right.
And he got all jammed up. I said, now step backwards and do it. Oof, there it is. So you have to look at what you're doing.
Right.
And why are you doing it that way? Why was it passed on to you that way?
Yeah.
And Sensei Bill Hayes is superb at doing that. Superb. He maintains the art that he was taught by Shimabuku Sensei, but he takes it to a whole different level.
Yeah.
And I really admire that, to where it becomes alive.
Right. I remember back in the day, maybe 30 years ago, there was a kind of a rumor or a conspiracy theory that what American servicemen were taught on Okinawa was the external art, and all of the hidden secret stuff only certain people knew.
Well, I wouldn't go 100% with that, but there's some validity.
Okay.
Most servicemen, they go to Okinawa, they spend a year there, 2 years there, 3 years there. And I will say, our training there, you're getting in a year's period of time, you're getting 3 or 4 years. Because like the Shimabuku, we were there every night,
Right.
every
Yeah.
night for hours,
Yeah.
and on the weekend. And so, you know, serviceman passing through, and the Okinawans, Japanese, they know that. And, you know, the guy makes Shodan, he has, Shodan is the first man. You know, you're just beginning to be an adult.
Right.
They come back to the States and open a school, you know, and really they didn't get the depth of the art. You know, most of my learning was in Okinawa. It was after class.
Ah, yes.
After
Yeah.
class. Lee-san, you stay here. Let me show you.
Uh-huh.
Our teacher, Shimabuku, he would take us into his home. His home was always open to the senior guy and the junior guys.
Right.
Too. We go in there, sit down, eat. That's when I learned in depth. There's even talks. So, you know, I think there is validity to what you said there. Not 100%, but I think there is some truth.
Yeah, there's a picture of you at dinner with Inosanto, so that's kind of the same experience, isn't it? Huh?
Oh, what a man he is! I got to change my life. Me and a lot of others, you know.
Because
he changed the way I see the world, you know.
Yep.
Wonderful.
There's definitely a lot of learning that goes on after class. Is that a tradition that you've adopted too?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Do you?
I watch and see who sticks around. Who
do you get in trouble with your wife for showing up way after class ends?
Oh, no.
Okay.
she knows me. That's your life. That's who you are. You know, so she's very, very supportive.
All right.
Very supportive.
Excellent.
Write that book. Write that book.
So you talked about being in class on Okinawa, you know, every night. So there's that drive, and we talked about the allure of the military for modern day youngsters. Do you think modern day young martial artists have a similar amount of drive, or is their attention dispersed over different areas?
Oh, gee. You mean like training on Okinawa?
I mean, like, do you find people today who are committed to 5 nights a week of practice?
I don't see it, but you know, the Marine Corps, it was a different thing, you know, because most of us young guys, we weren't married, and we go to work, we go run 3, 4, 5 miles every morning as part of our training, and before we went to work, then we go to work, and we eat in the mess hall, and you go to the dojo. You didn't have other responsibilities like, you know, like people who are married or people who have family, or it was go to work, go to the dojo. Yeah. So it was a kind of a different environment there. But to answer your question directly, I see it in some, as I did then. But again, like we talked about, MMA is not for everybody. You know, 1% maybe. Yeah. You know, have that drive who want to do that.
I just thought of somebody else who was on Okinawa, Joe Louis. Was he there when you were there?
Oh, yeah. No, Lewis was there. Joe Louis was there in the mid-'60s. And I first passed through Shimabuku's dojo in 1969. Okay. Now, I did train with Joe. He did a seminar in Vista, California in 1985, and I went to his seminar. Okay. And I also had a phone conversation with him one time. Oh, yeah. We talked about some things. Yeah. But no, I didn't know him. But the seminar, he was incredible. For a big man, he was just awesome. Yeah.
Hey, we were talking about kata a few minutes ago, and I forgot to ask you, Bunkai. What did that play a role?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Bunkai. That is the base application of what you're doing. Okay. For example, Okay, this is a block. See, that's Bunkai. You're blocking a punch here. That's Bunkai. But applications, most people, that's where they get stuck, and they think that's all they have. Sensei Bill Hayes calls that baby karate or baby song karate because they don't have understanding beyond that. But that's also a back fist strike. So,
yeah.
And other things can be you're grabbing the person's hand with their wrist lock.
Yeah.
You see. And so the bunkai is there, but that is the basic meaning. There's meaning application beyond that, and a lot of people don't get that far.
Yeah. That sounds and reminds me of training with the late Pendekar Paul de Tours in the Jurus of Penjak Silat. Did you ever experience that?
Not through him, but through Charles Reed. He taught us some.
Okay.
And also my training with John and Sean Meyer, I learned some of that, but not with Pendekar Paul.
Okay. Yeah. Because I remember that was one of the first things that clicked in my mind when he would show you the juru, and then he'd show the application of the juru, and I thought, this is similar to what is done in the classical in the good classical karate.
Oh yes, yeah, I saw that. I saw that. In fact, I sent emails to Sensei Hayes. Hey, I see karate here in Penjak Silat, so, and vice versa.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Look at everybody trades off.
Yeah.
Though,
I mean,
so.
don't you think ultimately we're all doing the same thing?
Ultimately, if you stay with it long enough, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. What goes into a lesson plan for you? If you're teaching a seminar, or now that you're teaching the regular classes over at Lebanon, what goes into the structure behind the lesson plan?
Well, as Guru Inosanto taught us, he did not, he don't give a set curriculum.
Okay.
So it's the structure that I teach from. It's very fluid. It's very fluid. Sometimes I'll walk into to teach the class, like a JUN Fan or a Kali class, and I'll have an idea of what I want to work on. And the energy there is different, or the response of the people to what I'm giving them.
Right.
It's not clicking.
Yeah.
So I'll change it. I'll change it. There is a loose, the single stick or the double stick, and so forth and so on, where I'll focus on different things during different time periods. But again, you got to listen to, what's going on there, the energy, what the people are saying, how you're interacting with them. So it's there, but it's very flexible.
Okay. So now I'm going to ask you the difficult question, right? Okay, right.
All right, told you how old I am.
So it's the proverbial most important thing that you learned from your teachers. So let's start with Eizo Shimabuku. Can you?
Very easy. In fact, he gave me a departing lecture when I left Okinawa the first time. Is to always be a gentleman, always speak kindly, always be polite, always try to put others before yourself. And believe it or not, that was the most important lesson I learned from him.
And that from a fighter.
With all that hard training.
Yeah.
That's from a great karate master. Yeah. Great karate master.
Same thing from Larry Hartzell.
Sifu Larry. It was similar. Larry was a tough man, but he was also very kind, very soft-spoken. So it wasn't verbalized to me, but I watched him, and through his example, I watched him be nice to people, but be tough here too, you know, but not mean tough unless you had to be.
Did you ever have a chance to see him off by himself?
What do you mean?
Like in my experience, sometimes if you can get a glimpse, so somebody like him, somebody like Dan Inosanto, people who are in the public eye a lot, if you ever have an opportunity to see them, like maybe off in a corner by themselves.
Oh yeah. I saw him do it.
Right. You've seen that, right? Do you think?
Oh, yeah.
I think that's when you see the real person. Do you think so?
I do, and I do.
Okay. Most important thing from Dan Inosanto? I don't really mean the most important. I just mean, you know, the first thing that jumps to mind.
Okay, that's what I'm after. What I'm giving you is continued growth.
Yeah.
You never arrive. Okay, there's always something else to learn. And again, he talked to us and told us that, but also it's his example. He shows that, you know. Always learning, always growing. So I think that's the most important lesson I learned.
So I'll start to wrap this up, but all of the Jeet Kune Do controversy that exit, why do you think that stuff happens? I mean, that, like you just said, Dan Inosanto is an example. Larry Hartzell is an example. Taki Kimura is an example. Jerry Poteet is an example. Richard Bustillo is they're all examples. So why is there this controversy, do you think?
I think some of it's misunderstanding by people who weren't there. By there, I mean who trained with Sifu Bruce, who associated with him and who knew him. Girl Dan was there. You know, he knows the direction that Sifu Bruce was going in. I think that's part of it. A misunderstanding. Also, I think money is a part of it. To be honest, you know, I've got the real stuff and you don't, you know. I think that's a part of it. And also a classical mindset as far as Jeet Kune Do. I want to do exactly what Sifu Bruce did and nothing else, you say. And some people feel that way.
Yeah, they do.
Some people feel
that's
that
true.
way. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. You want to do that? That's okay. But it reminds me, Dwight, of years ago we had the kata versus kumite controversy, you know, karate. Yeah. Oh, you people who study katas, you can't fight. You know, you're nothing. You know, and all you people who do the tournaments, you're a bunch of silly guys. You know, it's kind of like that. You know, we're all in the same family.
Right.
You know? Are we not? Yeah. Are we not?
Well, everything's fine until the humans get involved.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You answered your own question. Yeah. Well, we're all the same family. We really are, you know. And of course, you have such things in families too.
Yeah.
So,
what
I looked at Girl Dan as a guiding light in passing on JK.
Okay. So here's an easier general question for you. At this stage in your life,
Thank you.
right? Right? With everything that you do, with that chronology that's so hard to pin down, right? Because when I think you're living in California, you're living in West Virginia. When right?
I did.
So what at this stage in your life, what's important?
What's important to me? My family, my wife. I have a grown son, some grandchildren. That's important. That I continue to grow in as an individual and in the arts. And the growth and maturity of the people that I teach. those things are important.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And
Okay. Can we finish with this one? The role
mhm.
that faith plays in your life.
The role in faith. I believe in God. I believe that Jesus was God, is God, came to earth to teach and to show us the way to God. I struggled with different things over the years and looked at different things, but that's what I believe in.
So another example for us to follow.
He is, yes.
Yeah. So it all comes full circle, huh? Doesn't it?
What do you mean?
So if we look at the military aspect, we look at the martial art aspect, we look at the faith aspect, there seem to be these commonalities. There are mentors, there are role models, there are lessons, internal and external, that kind of stuff.
Yes, and we're in there somewhere to be that example and pass it on to others.
Yeah.
Not in an egotistical way, but we're there too. We should do that.
All right.
Because they're always watching.
Yeah.
We are. They're always watching.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, listen, thank you so much, sir, for spending some time with me this evening. Right.
Thank you, Dwight.
So
I enjoyed
now
it.
you got to go start making the notes on that book.
Write the book.
The grandkids. The grandkids. Think of the grandkids.
Okay. You're talking to my wife. I know you are.
Oh, listen. Have a great evening. Have a great weekend. Thanks for doing this again, and I'm sure we'll meet up again.
All right. Take care of yourself.
Take care, bud.
All right. Bye.
Okay. All right. That was episode number 96 with Aubrey Lee Grow of Ohio. So feel free to, what did I say here? Yeah, feel free. Share, like, comment, ask questions. I'll have him go through, and if there's anything you guys need for him to answer. I didn't ask him what's the best way to get in touch with him, but I'm pretty sure that if you go on Facebook, you'll find him there, and you can reach out that way. Sign up for notifications for when we go live here on Facebook. And as I asked you at the beginning, please subscribe over on the YouTube for the Jeet Kune Do Dialogues, for the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast, and for the FMA files. And when you subscribe over on the YouTube, please hit the notification bell over there. Follow me on Twitter at Dwight Woods and on Instagram at Dwight D. Woods. Coming up next Friday, which I think is November 1st, I'm pretty sure, and we don't have the time change. The time change will be on November 8th, right? But Mike Giddleston of JKD Colorado, he's of Ted Wong lineage. He will be on, and I'm pretty sure that'll be 6 p.m. Eastern time. And I'll see some of you maybe next Wednesday for the I Love Jeet Kune Do broadcast. Then some of you next Friday for another episode of the Jeet Kune Do Dialogues. This is Dwight Woods, the Jeet Kune Do Rebel, signing off. Everybody, have a great weekend. Talk to you soon. Take care. Hey, Paul Johnson. The Real Rick Brochure. All right, so I have to tell everybody that it's actually, I'm talking with Mr. Grow today as a referral and recommendation from the Real Rick Brochure. So I owe him a debt for putting me in touch with Mr. Grow. So, yeah, episode number 96. And next Friday, we should be on with Mike Giddleston of JKD Colorado. Hey, Greg Adamson. Yeah, Mike Giddleston, who is Ted Wong lineage. I finally got a hold of him. He was somebody that I tried to get a hold of way back. And actually, I owe it to Mark Stewart. You guys know Mark Stewart from Boxer Rebellion. He is the one who put it together for me and Mike. Gunnar Davis, what's happening? That's Gunnar Davis out of Texas, Jeet Kune Do. We got people from all over the place. Sweet, right? Let's see, what else? Okay, so I can tell you some of the people that that I'm hoping to have on over the next few weeks. So I mentioned Mike Giddleston. Matt Thornton out of SBG, the old Straight Blast gym. He's going to be coming up sometime soon. Joseph Harrison. I think Joseph is out of Clearwater. Yeah, right. He's coming up as well. Let's see. You might remember Jeff Westfall. He was on early in the beginning days. Jeff does the Martial Brain podcast, so he and I kind of reconnected a few days ago. So I'm trying to bring him on. Dickie Harrell out of Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm trying to get him. You know, I did ask Mrs. Hartzell if she would come on, but I think this is the best that we're going to be able to do, having Mr. Grow on first. Who else? I got the whole list. You guys should see the length of my list. There's Nathan Marimone, another Ted Wong disciple, Robert Kerbo. Victor Young is another person that they're trying to do. So we got, I mean, and that's just a small sampling of this huge list of people that I have. So that's what we got coming up. Hey, Holly Davis. So I'm just waiting here for Mr. Grow to get on the line. Invitation sent, so let's let me see if I can raise him through Messenger or something. Hey Richard Torres, I thought you were teaching a class right now. Joey Perry, Mitz Bandiera. All right, cool. All right, great people. Oh, Alexander on. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so Alexander is saying that he used to train with my old student, Robert Olivares. So that's going back 20-something odd years, and then they were both at Vanderbilt University. But I got to tell you guys a story, so let me indulge you while we wait for Mr. Grow to come on. So I went shopping today. I went to Costco today, which is something that I dread doing, but I did it. And I ran into an old student of mine. So here's the funny for me aspect of it. Last night in our Thai boxing class, I was teasing myself and telling my students, so yeah, you know, I never trained any fighters or what have you. Today I run into an old student of mine, again from back in the 2000s probably, if not before. This is a guy who was with me between the ages of 12 and 19, and he's probably in his he might be close to mid 30s or something now. And he told me that the UFC champ Jorge Masvidal, I actually trained Jorge Masvidal when Jorge was about 12 or 14 years old or something. So I'm going to go ahead and tell people that I have trained UFC champions, right? No, not really. Anyhow, okay, so there's no response from Mr. Grow as yet. If anybody who's on here knows how to get in touch with him, because I don't have like a mobile number or anything for him. So if anybody who's on here knows how to get, maybe Rick Brochure, if you could reach out to him and tell him that everybody's waiting for him, and then we'll go from there. Because, you know, I hate to sit here in front of the camera and have nothing going on. It's just kind of boring for you guys. So I'll tell you this. Hey, Dave McCulloch. If you have not yet subscribed over on the YouTube to the channels, please go ahead and do that, because there's a lot of stuff that's going on behind the scenes that we're trying to do to build up the podcast and to build its reach, and also to improve the quality of what it is that we offer. And so the first step is to build a subscription over on the YouTube, because then that allows us to do certain other things using that platform. There will also come a time when we will go live simultaneously on Facebook and on the YouTube. So, but I need to build the numbers over there, so to speak. And okay, so that's interesting. All right, okay, Rick, thanks for that. Let me. Rick, tell him the invitation's been sent. So. Oh, man. Hey, Bob Sykes. Did I see Hiram Daniel come on? Yes, I did. All right, cool. So, all right, guys, give me just 1 second here. I might have to shut down and reboot and then just go again, but we'll see. Hey, Randy. Randy, we're trying. Tell Sifu Baliki that we're trying to put together a good group for the seminar in Miami Beach in December. Okay. All right, guys, hang on 1 second here. This will be good to put as outtakes, wouldn't it? Gunnar, you're hilarious.
Hey, there we are.
Hey, what's happening?
How you doing, Dwight?
I'm good. So you didn't see anything that said you're invited to share the screen with me?
No, I didn't.
Are you on your laptop or are you on your mobile phone?
I'm on my Android.
Okay, so and you're logged into Facebook,
That's correct.
but it didn't say anything like Dwight Woods is inviting you to join him live.
No, never saw it.
No? Okay. All right. But stay logged into Facebook. I'll shut everything down, reboot it, re-invite you, and we'll just start all over again, and we should be able to do something. Sometimes it takes a few attempts to connect. Okay.
Okay, we'll do.
Alrighty. Okay. All right. All right, guys. Let me shut this down and do it one more time. And everybody, please hold on to your hats and come back and join us. Thanks much.